You're watching news that gets to the point on KATC TV3, Acadiana's news channel.
Good evening and thanks for choosing Acadiana's news channel at 5:30. A wanted man out of Acadia Parish is found dead on the train tracks in Scott this afternoon.
And now officers from Lafayette and Acadia Parish are investigating the case that crosses parish lines. Deputies are calling it an attempted murder-suicide. Killed by the train was 29-year-old Gregory Redondo of Doosan. He was also the suspect in a stabbing earlier today.
It's a terrible loss, a terrible human tragedy.
The deadliest single incident for Americans in Afghanistan this weekend. A helicopter with 30 U.S. troops on board shot down. Everyone on the helicopter was killed. Among the dead, a group of Navy SEALs, two of whom have connections to Louisiana. Chief Petty Officer Robert James Reeves and Lieutenant Commander Jonas Kelso, both Shreveport natives, were killed in that crash. They were two of the 22 Navy SEALs on board. According to initial reports, they were on their way to help U.S. forces caught in a firefight on the ground when the helicopter went down, apparently hit by a rocket-propelled grenade. The tragedy, a painful reminder of the sacrifices so many families have dealt with in the wars, not only Afghanistan, but Iraq as well. Those 30 families are now in the minds of many Americans this weekend. Cris Matochi has more now from the control room. Chris.
We've been watching the feeds all day, and although this happened thousands of miles away in Afghanistan, it's still being felt here at home. There are thousands of servicemen and women in Acadiana who've served in Iraq and Afghanistan over the course of the past 10 years. This morning there was a National Guard training exercise in Brobridge where the toll of this tragedy was certainly felt. The men and women have been down this road before. Losing a comrade or comrades is never easy.
You know, being deployed twice, my first deployment I lost two friends of mine, so I definitely know it hurts, and my prayers go out to their families and my prayers go out to the soldiers that lost their lives. You know, true American heroes that was doing the duty.
And the heat is on in Acadiana, and so is your AC, right, Chris?
That's right, Shawn. But what you're doing to save energy and stay cool could actually be costing you money and making it hotter in your house. KATC's Mike Magnoli is live on the roof. Mike, what are you doing up there? Today and tomorrow, you can shop tax-free throughout the state. The majority of your purchases will be exempt from the state's sale tax. This only applies to the first $2,500 of a purchase. For more information on what you can and can't get tax-free this weekend, go to KATC.com. And during this tax-free weekend over at the Mall of Acadiana, you can meet the Ragin' Cajuns coaches, players, cheerleaders, and Ragin' Jazz. Fans will have a chance to get autographs and pictures. You can also register to win prizes that will be given away every hour. If you don't have time to make it out today, no worries. The Ragin' Cajuns will be back at the mall from 10 a.m. until 6 in the afternoon tomorrow.
I'd say thank you to the fact that Coca-Cola and the Mall of Acadiana does this. They do it every year. We've had a lot more stores get involved this year, and this is a perfect weekend for this opportunity.
In Springfield, Louisiana, the mayor and police chief find themselves on the other side of the law. The two are accused of covering up the DUI arrest of a friend of the mayor's.
And we told you last week that producers and casting agents from the MTV show Jersey Shore are planning a new show based right here in Cajun country. Well, now we can tell you the auditions are set for tonight at the station in Broussard. The casting call starts at 8 and will last until 2 in the morning. Auditions will also be held tomorrow night at Outlaws Saloon in Lafayette. Those start at 7 p.m. and last till midnight. Now remember, you must be at least 21 to audition, and producers are looking for the most outrageous and best characters in the South.
Great weather to be indoors, maybe taking a movie, but that's where some moviegoers ran into some trouble today. The Grand 16 Theater on Johnson Street in Lafayette was evacuated this afternoon after a fire alarm malfunction. The Lafayette Fire Department, as well as technicians, are on hand trying to figure out exactly what's wrong. The theater hopes to open back up by 7 tonight. And so for customers who were inside when the alarm sounded, they were offered vouchers or refunds for their inconvenience.
The fire alarm light started flashing, and I looked at my dad and I was like, whoa, I think there's a fire. So we all get up to leave, and a woman comes in and says it's a false alarm.
It happened yesterday and today. We apologize for any inconvenience we have against our customers, and do know that the Grand is still a nice place to come back and enjoy the movies.
And the other big story this weekend is the country's credit rating. It was downgraded late Friday, and now ahead of the trading week, there's plenty of anxiety here in the U.S. and across the world as to how the markets will react. We'll have more on that coming up at 5:48. But first, we have reporter Mike Magnoli put this news into perspective. What does it mean, Mike? A New Iberia man is locked up tonight accused of an overnight home invasion in St. Martinville. Deputies say Cody Landry forced his way into a home with a gun, trying to find his girlfriend. The victim was able to call 911, but Landry took off. Deputies caught up with him at his home in New Iberia. An Iberia man is recovering tonight after a car fire. This happening at around 9:30 last night on Triple Lane in Laurelville. Firefighters were able to quickly put out the fire, but the owner of the car was taken to the hospital and treated for burns. An arrest is made in attempted kidnapping we told you about last week in Crowley. Gary Jennings is facing an attempted kidnapping charge for allegedly trying to abduct a 19-year-old woman. It all started Monday morning. The woman said she was driving on I-10 when Jennings started to follow her from Lafayette to her home in Crowley. That's where she says he tried to pull her into his vehicle. Meantime, still no arrests to report in attempted kidnapping in St. Martin Parish from Friday night. Two girls, both under the age of 10, were out getting the mail when they say two people, a man and a woman, tried to kidnap them. This all happened off Main Highway near I-10. The girls were able to run away, but were shaken up by the incident. Deputies say the suspects ran into the nearby woods. And if you have any information, please contact the St. Martin Parish Sheriff's Department. A fatal crash in St. Landry Parish left an Opelousas woman dead this weekend. The single-car crash happened at around 2 o'clock yesterday on Highway 357 at the intersection of Knapp Road, just south of Opelousas. State police say the driver, 41-year-old Thelma Maynard, was killed when, for unknown reasons, she lost control of her SUV. 3 passengers were treated for minor to moderate injuries. And looking at state news now, the man shot and killed by Baton Rouge police has been identified. Coming up tonight, how will the market react to the country's new credit rating? We'll have a preview at 5:48. Also tonight, UL football kicks off in less than a month. TV3's Andy Barrow will introduce us to a key player on the roster a little later in sports. But first, your forecast for the work week. Natalie Noah is back right after this.
Well, mainly dry out there this evening and not much expected for change in the next 24 hours. To kick off the work week, expect those triple-digit readings for those feel-like temperatures again to start off the work week. So it's going to be hot out there once again. It's really hot. So what are you guys going to do to stay out of the heat? Air conditioning, well, what do you say? By the pool, right?
You got to stay out by the pool or at least take a run through the sprinkler. That's the best way to cool down.
Yeah, and that's it for Acadiana's News Channel at 5:30. Thanks for joining us.
And we're back here in 30 minutes. We invite you to join us then, but now World News with Matt.